Hi there. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy for the Ages, the show where a father and son talk about fantasy, science fiction, and other nerdy things that we enjoy. Today, it's just Jim here, the father of this show, bringing a book blast to you, a spoiler light review of something I've read. If you enjoy what I share with you today, be sure to like it down below. Check out the rest of the things on our channel, and we hope you'll like what you see and subscribe. And feel free to leave comments here on this episode. We always respond. And down in the show notes, you can find more ways to interact with Zach and I. Social media, our Discord server, or even coming and supporting us over on Patreon. Thank you to those of you who are already Patreon supporters. So I'm here today to talk about a fun little nasty book, NOS4A2. Let's talk about this. It's a disturbingly delightful little novel. Published in 2013, I got around to reading it this year, so 10 years later, I'm current. It's the third novel by author Joe Hill, though it's the first one I've read. And based on my experience with this book, I could certainly see myself reading more of Joe Hill's stuff. Joe Hill, by the way, and for those of you who don't realize it, is the son of mega successful author and one of my favorite, Stephen King. Give the guy props for writing under a pseudonym rather than being perceived as riding his father's coattails. Humorously, I find his writing style to share some characteristics with his famous father. All good comparisons. And it's even odd that his appearance is strikingly similar. He's practically a clone. About this story, it's a creepy tale of the paranormal involving a woman named Vic and her ability to travel great distances, basically teleporting. Her special ability takes a physical toll on herself, but nevertheless, she is compelled to make use of it again and again throughout the story. Unfortunately for Vic, she's not the only one around with some special abilities, and eventually she comes into contact with another such person, Charlie Manx. Now, he's our primary villain. Manx, Joe Hill has created this character as kind of a way of reinventing the vampire. It's old concept in a new form, and it's icky. For those familiar with classic horror, that also explains the title, NOS4A2. You can see it right there in the license plate I have on the screen, too. It's an obvious nod. If you don't know what I mean, look up NOS4A2. You might have to phonetically spell it out instead of the license plate, but you'll get there. Now, the struggle between Vic and Manx is the primary conflict of this novel, but there are many subplots weaving in and out through this primary line of the story. Creepiest of all in this novel is Christmasland, a place where kidnapped children are being taken to live forever, transformed into little monsters. There's purpose behind that, which I will not share because that kind of crosses my spoiler light line. But in the creation of this place, this Christmasland, Joe Hill, I feel, most channels his father's style. And in fact, for those of you who are Stephen King fans, when you're reading this book, you'll find references, deliberate references to a number of King's novels in the story, both connected to Christmasland and then other aspects of the tale. For me, that just upped the entertainment value. Wrapping up, I'd classify this story as paranormal suspense horror. It's creepy, tense, and intriguing, with numerous high-action moments. I mean, the pacing is really good, it's highly satisfying, and the ending, awesome. I would indeed recommend this to pretty much anybody who likes suspenseful horror-type tales. And the paranormal, yeah, all in for that. There is a TV adaptation of this I've yet to watch. There's 2 seasons out, and then it was canceled. So they didn't get to tell the whole story. I don't know exactly how much is in there. I've heard through the grapevine season 1 was really good, and season 2 faded off. And was diverging from the storyline, and that's how these things go. But I will probably check it out eventually. I hope the majority of the book story did get told, because that would be a shame if they told them just some and left them hanging. It's too good for that. Don't do that to people. Okay, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you'll check out NOS4A2 if you haven't yet, unless it's not your kind of story, but then you didn't probably watch this video. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.